I'm out on the golf course today, and what I wanted to talk about was how some of the things that we see out there, all the conjectures on what it was that Hogan did, and the possible, solutions to Ben Hogan's secret, and how those possible solutions, although they are elements or effects of what Hogan did, they're not actually the whole solution, but they do nicely point on Hogan's angle. And so I wanted to talk about some of those and how they are a factor, point out how Hogan's angle applies to the entire range of what Hogan did, more importantly without causing him to have to think about what he was doing. So what I have here is I have a simple piece of surgical tubing which is stretched out on Hogan's angle. It is stretched out from my right elbow. So at address, if you'll notice, the right arm is pointing down the surgical tubing. Okay, so that's indicative of Hogan's angle. This is natural arm swing, naturally occurring event in human athleticism. And so here I am at address. My foot's parallel to the angle, it's parallel to the cord. I've got the ball here set inside my left heel. Okay, what I'm going to show you is how when you swing on Hogan's angle, things occur naturally without conscious thought. Okay, we're going to point to a few of the things you might have seen online. So for instance, let's take the right arm angle coming down into the ball. Come up to the top of the swing, everything's geared around Hogan's angle. It's going to drive down, heavy lag, and then that right arm is going to point on that line, and then fire through. Okay, so I'll go ahead and take a swing. You can see it you can see it in full speed. All right. Now then, let's move on to another point. There's the point of the release of the hips prior to the top of the backswing, which you probably already noticed. Well, there again, athletic motion. You get to the top, and just like throwing a baseball, whoop, before you get up there, you're going to already start driving towards the target. You're going to start driving down on angle. Okay. So here again, take another swing. You see how it happens naturally because Hogan's angle is drawing your efforts in that direction. There we go. Another one. All right. Other point, an interesting one. I think this is somebody. Let's see. I think I've heard a reference to missing link. I think is the word, and it has to do with the left arm turning in, the left elbow turning in. Now, if you can see with this blue shirt, I'll go ahead and line up that piece of surgical tubing with the inside of my elbow. So you can see there, it's set right on the inside of the elbow. Okay, there's my bicep, inside of the elbow. Okay, and here again, Hogan's angle, except with the lead arm, still applies because everything's driving down that way, and then releasing on through. So here we go. Come back. Okay, and then as you come down, everything is going to happen where you're firing down on angle. Okay, firing on angle, and that arm is going to roll over. It's naturally going to happen. It's going to turn this way, much like if you look at my website, you'll see the disc throwing. Okay, so you got the disc back, throw the disc, turn your elbow up. Okay, so throwing a disc, and the elbow turns up. Naturally occurring event on Hogan's angle. And I have to make this slowly because you are doing something which is finite. It's a meticulous detail. And then you should have been able to see that elbow back up like that. Supination, pronation, it's all a naturally occurring event. Jody Vasquez pointed to the right knee drive towards the ball. Now, a lot of people have tried it. It doesn't work because if you're swinging on path, of course it's not going to work. You've got a variance of efforts, but you're on angle. Right knee, there you go. Come to the top of the swing and drive the knee at the ball. Driving the knee on angle. Just like a pitcher releasing from the pitching mound, going to push off from the rubber. So here you go. Right knee, driving down and into the ball. Any other points? Let me think. Pronation, supination, it's all accounted for. you pronate because, well, your intentions are all on that line. Come back, you pronate, whoop, come down. You're gonna supinate because, hey, look at that. Wrist flattens out. Here you got Hogan's angle, and bada bing, right there, square on with Hogan's angle. And then it releases just like with that throwing of the disc motion. Bam, right on down and through. There's a pivot element I've seen out there, guys talking about a pivot, and of course you're going to pivot, come to the top of the swing, okay? Everything's geared on Hogan's angle. You see how it's all geared on Hogan's angle? Everything is going that way. So what's going to happen with your left hip? Your left hip's going to pivot out this way, okay? Then you're going to drive it down and through. Drive it down and through. Boom. You see that? The way the right foot turns through, the way the left foot turns through. It all just happens naturally on Hogan's angle. The more you look at it, the more you realize that you just have a purpose here. The intent of Hogan's angle is giving correct motion, correct position, a purpose. Okay? You don't want to have to think about everything you're doing when you swing the golf club. You just think about the simple thing, and that simple thing is driving down on an angle. There we go.